And if your own internal pressures don't make you give in to that, other people will try. And they'll try all sorts of sometimes subtle ways of emotional blackmail. If you really love me, you'd eat those chocolates. It may not be as obvious as that, but often that's the implicit message in which relationship.
It would be more like, go on, help me out.
Yeah.
I've only got a few left.
Oh yeah, go on, help me out. So whatever way it comes, there's a message from family members which implies that if you don't do this, you're somehow letting them down, you're hurting them, you're making them feel less, whatever it might be. And that sort of subtle or not so subtle blackmail can undermine things unless you're vigilant and say, okay, I know the tricks they might play. And I've thought out my strategies of how I might handle that. What might I do or say to help me to stick to my guns? That's the one thing. But of course, if internally the feeling is still there that, oh, Christmas, I've got to give in, then it wouldn't take very much from the other people to push you back.
Yeah.
So that's the bit that we can work on. Letting go of that internal impulse that says, all the programming says you've got to eat more at Christmas. And of course, it's not always just food at Christmas. Sometimes people drink. I don't know if you've heard of that sort of thing, have you?
Well, I have, but it actually doesn't bother me much. I used to drink a lot on transatlantic flights because it was free. It's like the sort of thing that goes through your head the first few times you go to an all-you-can-eat buffet. It's like, because you're not paying any extra, then you have to have more, and somehow you've got better value. And I used to have a fair bit to drink, fall asleep, wake up and do it again on a 12-hour flight to LA or something. And then the 2 times I've been away this year, I just decided I'm not going to drink alcohol. Doesn't make me feel good. I may fall asleep for a bit, but it's not quality sleep. And then I realised it was no big deal. After all these years of having to consume the free alcohol on a flight, now I didn't. For what they have in those little bottles or those little measures, I can go down the supermarket and buy it for £10 and have it any time. I can make it last for years, not just 12 hours. So I'm sure I can do the same at Christmas. I will have a bit of something to drink, but I don't know, I'm not attached to it anymore. I've never been much of a drinker apart from maybe at college. But it doesn't really hold anything for me. It doesn't make me any more of a man or any more of a person. In fact, maybe it makes me less, if I don't have control over myself. And I can still relax without it. I can still have a good time without it.
Yeah. Now, speaking of relaxing, how have you been getting on with the homework I set you?
Well, I missed one day, as you know, which I confessed to. I've been to visit a friend in Manchester from Monday to Tuesday, and although I listened to it on Tuesday night, I've got to confess again that on Monday I didn't. Yeah, I'm listening to it. I think.
What's happening when you're listening to it?
To be honest, not a great deal that I'm consciously aware of. But then it's easy when you start, isn't it? It's easy to lose a lot of weight in the first few weeks and get a bit of momentum, and that carries you through. But it may well be that at the moment where I don't think they're doing much for me, that in a month or two's time, they'll be more important.
Right.
And getting into the habit now is a good thing.
I think that's exactly right. And, when I'm saying, what's happening when you listen to it, you jumped ahead a little bit of what I meant by the question, which is, what is the end result of what's happening? Is where you jumped to. And as you say, it's hard to judge that. But what I was interested in is, how's it going when you put the recording on? Are you relaxing well? Do you feel that you're drifting down similar to what you did here?
Mostly I'm just lying down and listening to it. That's the weight loss recording. I don't listen to the other too much.
All right.
Should I be listening to more than that?
Well, there's 3 tracks on there.
Yeah.
Which obviously I just put on for the fun of it.
Oh, yeah. Because it would be a waste of a CD to only put one track on.
It would have been a complete waste of a CD to just put one track on, so I put two on which I didn't even imagine you would listen to. Does that sound about right?
No.
No. I put 3 tracks on because the 3 tracks are useful. I'm trying to remember exactly what I said, which I can't remember exactly, but I probably said something like the first track, which was reinforcing all the suggestions for losing weight, making that easy, which is only about 10 minutes long, that it'd be really useful to listen to that every day, whether you felt you needed to or not. And that's why that track is kept particularly short, because there's hardly a person on the earth who can genuinely say, I didn't have 10 minutes that day. Everybody can make 10 minutes a day. So that reinforcing on a regular basis of the stuff particularly to do with losing weight, that's probably the key bit of your daily homework. And getting that commitment to do that really gives your brain a message. I mean business here.
Okay.
And I'm prepared to do what is asked of me to make this happen and make it even easier. But the other 2 tracks, both half an hour long, the middle track is all to do with letting go of tensions, letting go of all the things that would get in the way, the negative thoughts and all the various attached patterns which go on to changing.
That's the track called Letting Go.
Yeah. So whenever you change something, like you're letting go of an old pattern of behaviour, that can bring up all the feelings which would pull you back to the old behaviour. And if you consistently keep letting go of those on a regular basis, even if it's just a tiny bit each day or a few times each week, then that prepares the way to make it easier and easier for the track 1 to work even better. And that continual process of letting go of the things that are getting in the way, whether we call them physical tensions, emotional tensions, whatever you want to call them, those things that get in the way of you doing what you want to do and being the way you want to be. There's really no end to how much you can continue doing that.
Right.
And every time you chip a little bit away at that, it makes everything else you do that much more easy. So definitely working while doing that. And what you'll find on track 2, when you listen to it, is that I'll use some words which we used last time.
Okay.
And those words will take you down into hypnosis quickly and easily. I don't know if you remember consciously what those words might have been.
No.
Yeah. It'll be on the video.
It will be.
Yeah. At one point last time, what we did in the session was what some people watching this will know as fractionation. In as much as I took you out of hypnosis and then took you back in again.
Yeah.
And to do that, first of all I explained what's going to happen, and then I counted up from 1 to 3, and you opened your eyes. And then I counted back down again from 3 to 1, and you allowed your eyes to close and went down deep in the first time. So the words that we used for that was 3, 2, 1, relax. And at various different levels and to various different degrees, your brain will have that wired in as the trigger. So whenever you hear those words and it's in context, then your brain, your mind, your body are free to take you down into hypnosis quickly and easily. And so I use those words on track 2.
Okay.
And you'll find every time you listen to that, you'll respond even better. And so the use of that, along with track 1, not only is reinforcing the work we've done, it's also setting things up to be even better for the next session. So basically, by doing a little bit of homework every day, you're conditioning yourself to respond better to hypnosis each time, which can only be good.